Oh my God! I recently picked up a late 1940s Heiland, Heiland, flash handle here, made in Denver, Colorado, and I wanted it to work with my 4x5 speed graphic anniversary model. So I needed to be able to connect from a household port to a two-pole input port on the solenoid on the speed graphic here. Unfortunately, the cable that came with the Heiland was worn out, and the insulator between the two cables within the original Heiland connectors was crumbling and completely dilapidated. So I was unable to use the original cable. I cut it open because I wanted to kind of see what the insides looked like, but it was two cables kind of wrapped together all the way down with a very thin insulator between the kind of conductors. That insulator it literally crumbled in my fingers when I opened this cable up. So we had the inverse of this, a two-pole input, and this is the original connector for the flash gun side. You can see the old Heiland logo on there, and is essentially a household plug. And so I went to Home Depot, fashioned this out of some 16 2-gauge cable. We have a household plug replacement up top here. Very like cheap kind of, so it's thin and old school, kind of like these old Heiland plugs are. And then I wired on some audio cable crimps here on the other end to be able to act as inputs. So hypothetically, if we charge our shutter, the shutter is now being controlled by the flash handle. So when I push the button on the back of the flash handle, our shutter fires. Very cool. Let's try it with a flash. See this cable. You can see this is a household plug that I've wired 16-2 into, and the opposite end has these normally used for audio conductors when you're wiring into Phoenix block connectors. I forget the exact name of them, but you can buy them on Amazon in a whole kit, relatively cheap. I also built a new extension cable out of a couple of these household connectors for my additional flash that will plug into your other external sync port on the Heiland flash here. This front port is when you are shutter controlled. So some cameras have 2 posts or different types of connectors, PC connectors, what have you, and the shutter controls telling the flash gun when to fire. That goes in the front connector here. The 2 sides on the Heiland flash gun are actually for extensions. Now, we've got our other end of our household plug here. This is going to go into our extension N, just like that. And I'll show you how you can test this without having to waste a flash bulb every time. So in front of me here I have a voltmeter. This tells you the output voltage of a given circuit. I've got a red and a black prong here. We were going to take the black prong, we're going to put that right dead center where the bottom of our bulb would hit. We're going to take the red prong, put it up against the edge where the side of the bulb would hit, closing the circuit. Now, this is wired up in sequence with our main Heiland flash gun here, and so when I trigger this, it should show a voltage on our voltmeter. There you are, 4.8 and holding. So that allows me to know that if I put a second flash bulb over here, when I fire this first flash bulb, the second one will also fire. So now that we are tested, more or less working, I've put our flash can on the back of the Heiland flash gun. We're going to insert our bulb, make sure we're seated in there nice and tight. We're going to charge our shutter as if we're taking a photo, and now we're going to test this. I'm going to close my eyes for this. Should take care of it. Ooh! It's like being on the sun. And both our shutter and our flash bulb fired. So we are good. Alright, dual flash and shutter test.